All right, we haven't done this in a while, but today we are talking about what's in my travel content creation kit. And spoiler alert, I lost my DJI Osmo Pocket 3, so we'll talk about what replaced that. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Desmond, and I create content around tech and travel gear. And honestly, if you've seen the channel before, you know I do a ton of traveling around the world. I occasionally switch up my travel content creation kit, so it likes to be relatively minimal, easy to carry around, and ideally helps me capture all of the different types of content and footage that I need for making videos like this or travel vlogs. Before we jump in, this video is not sponsored by any of the brands here. I paid for everything out of pocket, but this video is sponsored by Motion Array. They are one of the best video asset kind of services out there, and I use them all the time to really improve the quality of my travel vlogs and travel content that I film with all this gear. So let's just start by talking about the different bags. Usually I will carry a single day sling bag that holds my camera, some of the small gear, just when I need to film B-roll, talking head, basically anything I really need when I'm walking around or traveling to a new destination. One thing that I will say is over the last few years testing different sling bags, camera bags, travel bags, I just default to whatever bag I like to use. It doesn't have to be specialized. If it's high quality, if it's stylish, if it looks good, and if it fits the gear, that's the bag I'm gonna go with. So what we've got here, this is the Loewe convertible sling bag. Obviously not everybody's cup of tea, but I like it because the size is great. I'll just show you here the camera we'll talk about later with my A7CR and a full-size lens. It slides perfectly into my sling bag. That's it. That's really all I need. I've also got a ton of space if I want to add my mics, extra batteries, a shotgun mic, any small accessories, and basically that's it. The bag is good to go. Like I said, I don't lean into specialized bags as often anymore. I just personally like Loewe as a brand. I like the aesthetic of this particular sling bag. The leather is really soft. It's gotten softer the more I use it. It has a nylon strap and a metal buckle. And just throwing it on so you can see if I do a front carry walking through a new city, again, really easy. I can just zip this open, pull my camera out, get the shot, slide it back in, zip it up. And like I said, what I really like about it is purely around the aesthetics. It holds everything. It's got a small zipper pocket up front here. I can throw in my wallet, a tracking card, an air tag for any additional features or tech that I need. But if I'm just walking around a city and I don't want to really stand out like a tourist with like a big camera bag or a camera sling, I just bring this. I think this is a great day bag. I use it all the time, whether or not I'm carrying a camera. So the bag is the Loewe convertible sling. Great whether you are carrying or not carrying cameras. All right, I mentioned bags. I'm gonna cover this in like 10 seconds. Like I said, I don't carry specialized bags anymore. So all the gear, they go in big leather weekenders, travel bags, backpacks, whatever I'm feeling, whatever I think is gonna look good for a particular trip. There's usually enough space to carry everything. And if you've seen my channel before, you know I'm a bag and bag person. So I'll throw this into whatever my day travel sling is, and I'll toss that into my bigger bag. But usually for this minimal content kit, I don't need a specialized bag. So any bag will do. All right, let's get to the camera. So I'm still rocking the A7CR as my favorite hybrid travel camera. If you guys know anything about it, this came out, I don't know, probably over a year ago at this point, maybe a year, but same sensor as my A7R5, 61 megapixels, not particularly great for video, but the hybrid video capabilities are perfect for what I need. 4K, 24 frames per second, 30 frames. I can do slow motion, again with a slight crop, which is perfectly fine for what I need. And then the best thing about this as a hybrid content creation tool is the knobs up here. So I can quickly switch between custom 1, 2, and 3 modes, as well as S&Q video and photo modes. So For me, when I'm on the move, if I'm taking photos, I can quickly just switch over to S&Q, video mode, photo mode, and then within that, I have 3 more custom options. So that's how I can quickly get my shots, switch over to slow-mo, take some photos, 1 camera for everything, and this really makes it much easier and much faster. Other thing I love about the A7CR, I mean, pretty standard on a lot of cameras these days, is the flip out screen, because if I am filming myself, that's when I'm gonna be leveraging the most. I will say, Sony, your newest RX1 III, no flippy screen, that is a bit of a deal breaker for me. Before moving forward, let's quickly talk about the sponsor of this video, and that's Motion Array. Now, I am always trying to increase the production value of my videos by adding graphics, overlays, music, audio. Motion Array does something really special. They actually work with different artists and different creative directors to create exclusive typography, graphics, templates. So this month they worked with Tina Tooley, which is an incredible graphic designer. She is a creative director, and she has this new library of typography templates that you can go ahead and use in your videos. I personally like these because they add a lot of professionalism and character and personality to my videos to help them stand apart. And these are serious artists and creative directors. Tina's worked with Adobe, Dropbox, CNN, all of these major companies. And for this particular set, she worked with a Melbourne-based studio called Nounish to create all of these incredible templates. So I would definitely check out Motion Array. Not only is Tina and her work on there, there are a ton of other great artists. You can use their typography, their graphics, their visuals to really improve the production value of your videos. And then on the camera itself, this is an interesting lens. I've been using this a lot. And again, it's, you know, I spent some time with some really incredible content creators and cinematographers during a trip to Italy. And everyone was shooting on anamorphic lenses. And again, not being a professional or as much of an expert on manual focus, I actually went and bought the Sirui 20mm autofocus 1.33x anamorphic lens, just because I really like the look of it. Of course, you're not gonna get really high quality anamorphic looks, but I've just been trying to find ways to distinguish some of my travel content, add a little bit more character and personality to it. I personally love this lens. 20mm is the focal length I usually shoot with. I have a 20mm f1.8 Sony G lens that now just stays mounted in the office for other B-roll shots. But when I'm roaming around a new city and I want to get some just really nice shots with some character and personality, this is the lens that I bring. And again, as you can see, it's not very large. I have a Peter McKinnon variable ND filter on here from Polar Pro. It's the polarizer as well as the V&D combo. And overall, I like the performance of the lens. The autofocus makes it really easy for me to just simply shoot, get a lot of talking head style stuff. One downside I will call out for shooters that aren't familiar with anamorphic, I turn off all active stabilization. The active stabilization in body does tend to like cause some jello effect and warping just because of the shape of the elements inside an anamorphic lens. So traditional stabilization is not going to give you the best results. I shoot everything just unstabilized, and if the footage is bad enough, I will just use stabilization and gyro data software on my laptop to just correct everything, and then it looks fantastic. Another lens that I do always bring with me is my 35mm f1.4 G Master. Like I said, this is hybrid. If I want to shoot photos for my video, or if I just want to get a tighter shot, I will just go ahead and use this. Yes, with the anamorphic and this, the black bar difference is a little bit weird, but I just keep this extra lens around. Maybe sometimes it's for personal use, maybe a little bit less storytelling and just really cool shots and photos. New to the kit, this is actually from a company called Silence Corner. This is called their Mambapod. Again, not sponsored. I bought this off their Kickstarter page and it actually shipped, so I think the campaign's over. This is cool because one, very nice compact tripod, all metal construction, makes it a little bit heavy, but I like the heft. What's unique about this is a clamping mechanism built in. So very different than say my PGY Tech like Mantis Pod or some of the other mini tripods I have. You can see here that I have a clamping mechanism. So I can secure this to the side of a table, to a pole, to a wall, to a piece of equipment, basically anything. And you also get the extra kind of like hook feature that you would get from a Mambapod or any new mini tripod that gives you that additional hook functionality. So the reason why I bought this, again, is it has everything. It's got that little Mantis style hook thing. It now has this clamp, which is really, really cool. Everything locks into place. The ball head is good. You can do horizontal or vertical shooting. And again, not a lot to say about this. It's just a well-made tripod. I really like it. It has all of the additional features and functionality that I don't have on my other mini tripods. Same size, and again, this is just something I can throw into my suitcase or throw into my larger bag. And if I do need a tripod on site, on location, I can pull this out, and with that clamping mechanism, I can basically secure it to anything, which is very cool and unique to just this tripod here. But oftentimes I'm not using a tripod, so I have my Clever Supply Co. leather strap with Peak Design anchors, and I've anchored them to a Falcam quick release plate. And what I usually do is I can just quickly secure this over my neck, walk around the city. I use this as well, especially using unstabilized footage. I can get really smooth B-roll, panning shots, all that good stuff. And if I need to just come off strap, I can click, pull it off, get my shots, and then secure it right back on. I like this setup a lot. I think I learned it from Chris Brockhurst maybe a few years ago watching one of his like reels, but I've been using this constantly, and it's probably one of the easiest and best and most convenient setups, especially if you've already invested in a like quick release system. It can be from Falcam, it can be from anyone. Next, let's talk about the action cam slash like small camera. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I lost my DJI Osmo Pocket 3, RIP. Lost that at Disneyland recently on a trip. I must have left it on a ride, and I don't know. But I really relied on that camera to get great, smooth B-roll and footage in spaces where I didn't want to whip out the big camera. The Insta360 Ace Pro 2 does the same thing for me. I've used this and tested this a ton in the past. I will say, because it's a lot of digital stabilization, the final output and video quality isn't going to be on par with my DJI Osmo Pocket 3, but that's fine. 99% of the time, it still looks fantastic. It's still very, very usable. I use L-Log on this. I can still do all of my color grading, apply creative LUTs as well. And since it is an action camera, it is a lot more durable than my OP3. So normally if I'm traveling somewhere where I would do water sports or something more action related, I bring both. Now I only have the option to bring one, so I'm just using this a lot more. But I think the video quality on this stuff is great. Forward facing lens, you can flip it up. It's durable, replaceable kind of lens cover here, so if you crack it, you can get another one. Still works with external microphones, also fantastic. I just find myself using the built-in mics on the Osmo Pocket 3 and my action cameras lately, just because they're usually fine unless it's a very unique circumstance. But the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 is kind of the only go-to action and like small video camera that I have now, unless I get my hands on a new Osmo Pocket 3, which has gone up in price. Not really happy about that. Speaking of audio, two options. I actually don't bring this out as often anymore, but this is my Sony ECM1M. It's the smaller shotgun mic, but you can see here, footprint is great. It connects directly to that digital hot shoe, so it taps directly into my Sony cameras. Little push button, different options on the back, super directional, forward direction, omnidirection, reverse, and then forward and front. So it's got a good amount of audio options here. I just set this thing to auto, turn on like low cut filter, and we just use it. Again, I'm looking for something where I can just plug it in, get good enough quality audio, especially when I'm moving around the city or just filming content in general. And this thing is tiny, really small. Like I said, it will fit right into that sling bag I had earlier with the camera itself. But more often than not, I am using these. This is the DJI Mic Mini, just the tiniest little wireless microphone. So convenient, really high audio quality, or high enough in all honesty. rumor has it DJI will be releasing their new Mic 3s, which have a very similar profile for at least their mics, and I'm definitely going to try to get my hands on that. It's because I love the form factor. It's super small. The receiver itself is also very small and thin, which is great, so I can toss it onto my camera and it'll still fit in the sling bag with this attached. So that's one of the reasons why I use this so often. And then last thing on my list is a quick light. This is from a company called Hobolite. This is their Iris. Super small, compact, gives me just enough light source for any type of forward-facing video, dark hotel rooms, things like that. Again, this whole kit is designed to be very small. Majority of what I need fits in the sling bag. Everything else I just toss into one of my larger bags. All right, that is it for this video. If you liked the content, hit that like button, subscribe for more videos just like this. I will catch you on the next one.